Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we're taking a look at another Kaiser model, and this here is none other than the Kaiser Squidward. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this knife right here. We have an overall length of 6.75 inches, a blade length coming in at 2.75 inches, and a blade thickness right at that standard 120 thousandths. Blade material is, you guessed it, 154, where is it? There we go, 154 cm. And we have a drop point style blade with a flat grind, a handle length coming in at 3.87 inches, and a handle width at 750 thousandths. Handle thickness on this guy is an even ½ inch at 500 thousandths. And we have a handle material of Richlite on this version, but there are some other options out there. This is kind of just the latest version of the Squidward. We have, of course, a liner lock with the user of a right hand only, or no, I take that back, right or left hand tip up carry, and a weight coming in at 2.6 ounces, and a price of a very reasonable, very affordable $69. Not too bad at all there. Let's take a look at some size comparisons here, because there is one knife that this knife really reminds me of. And it's not this one. This is the Civivi Elementum. And it's not this one. This is the Kaiser Gemini. These are just to give you kind of an idea of the size here. So yeah, it is a smaller knife. I would definitely consider this a small knife. Not fifth pocket small, but small nonetheless. And what it really reminds me of is like a budgety version of this guy right here. Not this exact same model, but the Pena front flipper. I think everybody has heard of the Pena front flippers. They were really, like, a couple years ago, these things were impossible to get. They would sell out like that, blink of an eye gone. And there's a reason why, because they were phenomenal knives, still phenomenal knives, made by Riot. I'm probably never going to sell this one, really love it. Has excellent action, but very similar in size, open or closed to this Pena front flipper, just a hair longer. But yes, pretty similar. There's a lot of similarities between these in terms of size, thickness. I don't want to say the action's the same, but when you're comparing a $270+ knife to a $70 knife, it's incredibly impressive at just how good the action is on this, which we'll talk about here when we get to the action portion. But first, let's start with this blade. And this is, again, this specific blade really reminds me of a Pena front flipper, but primarily the Pena Trapper, which was, I believe, the first Pena front flipper to come out. And it was really one of the first ones, and that one actually didn't sell out super fast, but once they started to get in people's hands is when they were like, boom, gone, the hottest knife in the market. That's really what this blade shape reminds me of, and it is just a beautiful drop point, nice lines, and just a very, very nice profile in general. The 154 cm Kaiser does just legitimately a great job with. It's really hard to go wrong with this on a knife for $70. 154 cm or 14C28N. You're good to go in either one of those regards, and that's what we have here. One thing that I don't really like about this knife is the big font for the model name. I feel like that could be smaller. Azo is a fantastic designer. I love seeing his name on here, but that little part number there, that can be gone. Just clean up this a little, in terms of the billboarding, keep Azo on there because that's one of my guys. He's a great designer. But yeah, kind of just small it all down. Don't make it look so, kind of reminds me of like the way SOG brands a blade sometimes. Just a little too much, a little too big. Minimize it, clean it up. This side's pretty good. No issue with the Kaiser logo, like seeing the steel. So overall, pretty good. Just wish they would minimize some of that font and get rid of the model number. Jimping back here is really good. I like how far the jimping goes up the spine. You don't normally get that much jimping on this small of a knife, this far up the spine. And it can really come in handy, and it can really be appreciated if you really have to bear down and go through a harder cut, or just you're doing something that just requires that much length of the blade to move your finger up there. So overall, a pretty nice blade. Tip is rather stout for what type of knife this is. Very sharp edge coming in at 17 thousandths, so that's good to go. But again, with a narrow blade, it doesn't exactly stay at 17 thousandths. It gets thick pretty quick with a narrower blade, but very nice edge, plenty good enough, good to go, and you have a nice tip to work with as well. Going into the handle, I'm starting to like Richlight more and more, especially the way it darkens up. So this side here is obviously, there's no clip protecting some of my hand from touching it. So you can see all my oils of my hand have gotten into the Richlight and kind of darkened it up. And when you flip it over, you can tell what it originally was like. So it was kind of I don't want to say dried out, but it was just kind of a paler maroon. And you can see how it's patinaed and kind of soaked in the oils. And it does a really good job of that. I'm probably going to take this scale off and maybe just put a couple little dabs of mineral oil or something to darken the whole thing up. But it does look really, really good once it's fully patinaed and set in. Patina may not be the right word for this, but just letting the oils from your hand and carrying it get into the handle it kind of helps darken and enrichen it up. I also really like this white pivot collar, which I believe is G10, but I like the white. I like the contrast of the darker colors and the white. Someone said it gave something like the outline of like a squid eye or something like that, which I don't know if that was true or if they were just joking, but either way, whether it's meant to be or not, it does make sense. And I just like the way it looks in general. One thing I would love to see Kizer do with this, since it's called the Squidward, like make a Squidward themed color for one of the knives. Like I'm sure everyone knows of Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants. Maybe find kind of like that bluish teal type of color Squidward is and put that on the handle. Maybe like a brown pivot collar for the shirt he wears. That would be fun. That would be really, really cool. And I think a lot of people would really like that. I would 100%. If they don't send me one, I'm buying one because I want one. That would be awesome. The ergos in general are good. They're nothing crazy good. They're just simple, neutral ergos. But at the end of the day, I don't really have any complaints about them. The clip is kind of a double-edged sword because I really like how the clip works in terms of assisting with the action and front flipping of the blade. You have a lot of real estate on this clip to grab. It makes it very nice to pop that blade out. But it's also, from a visual aspect, I feel like it looks just a tad too big to be on this knife. But it's not bad enough to really complain about it. As a matter of fact, kind of just moving it away and just looking at it in general, it's okay. It's okay. It's very close to being too big though. But it'll work on this knife. Nice deep carry clip. The one thing that I legitimately hate about this handle, I'm not even gonna say dislike, I'm gonna go with hate because it's a strong word, but I really hate this lanyard hole area back here. I just don't like it. It hogs up way too much of the bottom of the knife. There's just not enough people that use a lanyard hole, or even why you need this type of excess. Maybe it's for a true lanyard, like the kind of lanyard you wear on your neck. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of that. Mine will be gone. I'm going to take a Dremel and kind of grind it off and then just go over the raw ends with some black nail polish. And yeah, we'll be good to go there. I think it'll look a lot better, a little more clean there at the bottom, because just look, if that was not there, it would look a lot better without that hideous thing at the bottom. So yeah, can't wait to get rid of that. Gonna look really good after that. And really, you even have kind of a lanyard. You have a lanyard thing here. So maybe this isn't for a lanyard. I don't know. I feel like maybe I have heard what it was about, but a lot of knives go through this table. I can't remember everything. But anyway, I'm going to get rid of that regardless of whatever it is. Going into the action is fantastic. One other thing worth noting about the handle is the liner lock access, because it's very important for me to hit on that because it's a big deal to me. It couldn't be any better. It's pretty much perfect liner access. So very nice there. And then into the action, as you saw, reach around approved all day. And whether you're doing the reach around or just the regular front flip, it's so good. Can we do that comb over I was talking about? It might be hard. Yeah, a little hard to do on this one. But nonetheless, that aside, the action on this guy is just absolutely phenomenal. I don't want to say it reminds me of a Pena, because Pena is a little different. The detent and just the feel of it in hand is different. But in terms of just good, snappy detents and the easy front flipper to work, this is a winner all day. I really do like how easy it is to do that reach around, and a lot of that is because of the excellent, phenomenal jimping all along the front of this flipper tab. I get on Kizer sometimes because they don't do enough good jimping on the actual regular flippers of their knives, Guys, this is what I want to see. I want to see this on all the regular flipper tabs. Like, this would be awesome. It'd be perfect because it's not aggressive enough to bother your finger or make someone's, give blisters or hot spots, but it's plenty enough to give that good traction to pop a blade out. I would love to see this on all front flippers and regular flippers. Make it happen, Kaiser, please. That would be awesome. But yeah, this knife is just good to go. I mean, unless you just don't like small front flippers, then maybe this wouldn't be your thing. But if you like the Pena front flippers and you don't want to spend $270 on one, look no further than the Squidward. It really is a super solid option, and I have no reason not to recommend it to someone. It's just really, really good if you're looking for a smaller front flipper. So that's that, guys. Let me know if you've handled the Squidward before. Let me know your thoughts on it. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.